Hey there, friends. It's the Shadow Gallery once again, and I am, as always, your host, James Donnelly. And Little Hand says it's time for new comics, bitches! Sorry. It said like a bolt of lightning passed through me because it's Flashpoint time. Actually, okay. We're not going to start off... No, we are going to start off with Flashpoint. Okay? So, let's kick it off. The actual issue itself. Flashpoint. Numero 3. Or tres. Or trois. Or drei. Depending upon your language. There's some interesting stuff going on in this issue. We start out with Cerebro basically getting kind of kicked to the curb by the U.S. government, basically saying that he's not been very effective in carrying out his duties. Which kind of, sucks for him, but, it leaves him to do what he really needs to do, which is to get his cadre of heroes together. And meanwhile, as we saw in the finale of the last issue, we see that Barry Allen is little more than a crispy critter that's on Batman's table. And he's in bad shape. He's not doing well. But he's very persistent in the way that he needs to, get back to who he was beforehand. That he needs to become the Flash. So they do it again. Barry kind of does it again. Batman's not too keen on this idea of him doing it again, but he does it again, and boom. We got the Flash again. Barry Allen being the Flash. But of course he only has the Reverse Flash suit, so he, in a second, uses whatever to, I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but, he uses his stuff. He uses his speed to create a whole, whip up a whole new costume for itself. And we've got Lois, who is in New Themyscira, or, as it were, England. She's undercover with the Amazons, working kind of with Cyborg. She's in, essentially, a sewer. And she meets up with another team of resistance fighters, Etrigan. At least I'm assuming it's Etrigan. The Canterbury Cricket, who I think had either a one-shot or a part of a series last week. I have no idea. I don't really care. Kind of a Ms. Hyde type of thing, but the big reveal here is Grifter. Obviously part of the Wildstorm universe, and they've had, it's part of, Wildstorm is an offshoot of DC, so they brought Grifter into the Flash. I can't remember if they're going to be doing a Grifter series after. I don't know if that's one of the 52 titles that's going to be released in September. But I don't think I never read any of the Wildcats or any of that stuff, because for the most part comics in the 90s really did not do much for me at all. But the character of Grifter was done really, really well in by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips in Sleeper. Which is a great series that I talked about before. It's just another triumphant series that they did, which is basically set inside the Wildstorm universe. And that was just really quick. So anyway, we've got, of course, Barry is now healing from his burns because of his, super speed and everything like that. And they're trying to figure out, they feel, okay, well, we need, our other people. Obviously Wonder Woman is a no-go because she's trying to kill lots of people, and she already has. Aquaman's a no-go. Oliver Queen basically seems to be kind of war profiteering from this whole thing. And, Hal Jordan is not a Green Lantern. Adam Sur is. Whether or not that will continue, we don't know yet, because in the Flashpoint Hal Jordan from last week, I believe, it seemed like he was still going to become a Green Lantern. But, so, the next person that they got to go to, is Superman. Where's he? And this kind of course, harkens back to Project Superman from last week, which was a really interesting story. It's just, there's a lot of, and they enlist Cyborg in their quest to find out what's happened to Superman, to this baby, this rocket that crash landed in Metropolis that killed 35,000 people, apparently. So, and this is, there's a lot of talk that's been made about the design of Superman for this book. Because obviously they do, Cyborg basically is now going against the government to find this, Project Superman. And when they do find him, when they do finally find what I'm assuming is Kal-El, he is, he has kind of dark, spiky hair. He's very gaunt. He's very skinny. He's all in black with like an S and a 1 here. It's not like the traditional, Superman emblem. And, he looks very emo. And, that's another trend I really hate, is emo wear. So if you're emo and you're out there, get a fucking life, okay? Start dressing like a human being, unless you're under the age of 15. Then you're allowed, okay? Because you haven't obviously figured it out yet. But once you get past 15, you need to start figuring it out. Anyway, because those who remember the goth tirade that I went on a while back. So, anyway, moving along. I really dislike the fact that all of these, like places like Bleeding Cool and Comics Alliance are calling this the goth Superman or the emo Superman. There's a reason that he looks the way he looks, and it's explained by his Kryptonian physiology. They basically, these people behind Project Superman, they kept him underground in the dark for his entire life. And so he's never seen the sun, and of course his Kryptonian biology is enhanced by Earth's yellow sun. I'm not going to go into the Mallrats scene, but I could if you really wanted me to. But anyway, so that's why he looks the way he looks. That's why he's gaunt, And then all of a sudden it's now it's now them being chased out of this government facility, and what the hell are they going to do now? So that's where it ends. Overall, Jeff Johns he's just kind of disappointed. I like the ideas, some of the ideas that he's putting out there. I'm just, this seems very, like it's not up to his creative level. I think that, I think perhaps that he's spending more time with kind of planning the future rather than figuring out the now. And that's where my main criticism comes in of this entire series, really. is that they're trying to put the pieces together for the post Flashpoint DC renumbering, reboot, whatever the hell it's going to be, because we really don't know yet. But it's just, it's kind of disheartening to see that, someone with such obvious talent. I mean, the art, Andy Kubert, however you pronounce it, it looks fantastic. I mean, he's a great artist, and he always has been, and I'm sure he always will be, just like his pop and his brother. So that's certainly not worth complaining about, because it's wonderful. It's great art. But it's just the writing just seems kind of scattered. Like, they know that there's way too much going on, and they don't know what the hell to do with it. Briefly, so again, it was good, but World of Flashpoint, number 2, which I did read. It's I can't even remember the name of the lead character. Angie 13 or whatever the hell her name is. Using magic to go through to with Madame Xanadu's help, going from place to place, meeting all of these familiar faces. Like, she meets a priest, Jason Todd, in Gotham City, and meets the daughter of Steel out with her anarchist buddies fighting Nazis and or the new Nazis in South America. And then she bounces to Africa, which is ruled by the guerrillas, and she's just kind of going all over the place. And then she's trying to stop her father from blowing up like everything. So I don't really get that story. It does nothing for me. So, and it was aside from I thought the Jason Todd thing was memorable, not because it was cool, just because it's Jason Todd, and it's just stuck out in my head. Other than that, it was like, okay, another Flashpoint lame-o tie-in. So anyway, so enough Flashpoint for now. Real quick, okay, the Red Skull, number 1. Now, this is written by Greg Pak, who I really like, and this is obviously, the movie's coming out in a couple weeks. Oh man, I can't wait. But this is, so they've got to tell, I'm assuming what they're thinking is going to be the definitive origin. I kind of preferred the old one from the Lee Kirby days, where he was just a busboy or a bellhop in a hotel, and Hitler looked at him, and he saw his own rage and his own hatred reflected back at him. So it's like, this is going to be my right hand man. But they're going deep into his history. Johann Schmidt he's an orphan and living at a home for wayward boys in Munich in 1923. Germany's worried about the communists, and then he's basically it's like the psychotic version of Oliver Twist, and that's the thing that disturbs me the most, is that Greg Pak's a really original guy. And he's written a lot of really original stories over the years. But this is just, it's so, like, who cares? I mean, it's so poorly thought out that it's just like, okay, well, we're going to put him in this day and age, and we're going to put him as a kid, and we're essentially going to learn how he kind of was, how he kind of came to be evil and bad and ruthless and a Nazi and everything like that. And it's just boring, man. It's fucking boring, and it's so tired, that tale of the orphan gone bad type of thing. Or the seeds. We start to see the seeds of his evil. It's like, forget it, man. It's totally worth skipping. I didn't even buy it. I just borrowed it from my buddy. So anyway, so we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back with more books. So keep your eye out. I'm watching you. Right? Don't move. I'm serious. Okay? Stay right there.